The Crate and the Smog by Mr. Marcus. The smog came early that night, thick as rotting wool. It rolled over the highway like it had a purpose. Mason didn't notice, not at first. His focus was on the coordinates glowing on his cracked burner phone screen. One last job. One last grab and go before he could get out of Flint and disappear into a warmer, quieter life. The directions led to an industrial graveyard, a place the city forgot. Locals called it the Swivel. Old meatpacking plants, half-collapsed silos, and mildew-covered warehouses all leaning like they were whispering to each other. Ghost stories were born here. People talked about the place like it was alive, like it hissed if you walked too loud and creaked when it didn't like you. Mason didn't believe in stories, he believed in bills. The guy who texted him promised $5,000 cash for a crate stashed in the back of Building 17. No questions asked, just don't open it. The gates were already open when he got there. He stepped out of his car, hoodie up, steel-toe boots sinking into a mire of mud and ash. The smog wrapped around him fast, sweaty, fragrant with something sweet and rotted like burnt honey. The place was silent except for a distant drift of metal scraping on concrete. He entered the plant. The air inside was worse. Static buzzed faintly in the walls, and the smell of soot and wet meat soaked the air. Pipes overhead pulsed with some dying rhythm, like the place had a throb of its own. The flashlight he brought flickered, dancing over blistered tiles, crumbling locker doors, and chains that still clattered like they remembered being used. He passed a sign half-ripped from the wall. Cold storage. Authorized only. Perfect. Mason ducked through a half-open door and found it. The crate. It was huge, too big to carry alone. Bound in black iron tethers, its surface glinted with oil and carvings, burned in deep, twisting symbols that looked like eyes or daggers. The wax seal along the lid was cracked. Someone had been here before him. He pulled out his phone to take a picture, but the screen flickered and died. Then came the first sound, a hiss, but not from the pipes. This one breathed deep. Animal close. Mason spun around, light beam cutting through the fog. A wisp of something, gray, long-limbed, and wrong, ducked behind a pillar. He felt his legs plunge into ice. Not cold, fear. He turned back to the crate. The wax was now melting, dripping onto the concrete. The symbols were glowing faintly, the same color as smog under lightning. Don't do it, Mason muttered to himself. Just mark the damn thing. Call it in, get paid. Get gone. But his hand moved anyway. He touched it, a rattle shook the entire crate. One of the iron tethers snapped with a sound like a gunshot. Another splintered, then silence. Until something inside scraped against the wood and laughed. Not human, not animal, something in between. Like a hyena trying to imitate a man. Mason tried to back up, but his boots were stuck in the grime. Roots, cables? No, veins. Something alive was wrapped around his ankles, siphoning the warmth from his body. The crate bellowed, a deep, wet roar that vibrated his teeth. The lid burst open in a cloud of gas and black feathers. What rose from it was hunger. It had no face, only a glare of burning white light from beneath a slick, twitching mass of wings and bone. Its form was tethered together with barbed wire and wet skin, constantly shifting, like it couldn't decide what it used to be. Mason tried to scream. The thing lurched and everything went black. 3 days later, a pair of urban explorers found his flashlight, broken, near a smear of burned concrete. The crate was gone. All they saw was a smog trail floating through the district. Following them,